When I first came to Green Meadow Farm, I remember driving up the lane underneath the beautiful willow trees, and I just got a warm and peaceful feeling inside. I had been feeling so drained from pouring everything I had into our adopted son. And I knew in my heart that this farm was going to be a place of refuge for both me and Monty.
When I was a little girl, I vividly remember riding my bike up the road and looking back at the farm with a dream in my heart that one day I would be able to return and help people that are hurting.
When we last saw Ella, her parents had just received some troubling news that her kidneys were not functioning properly. She then spent the next several months to a year fighting critical medical challenges that actually became life-threatening. Thankfully, she has mostly recovered, and she asked her mom if she could come visit Green Meadow Farm because it was a place that held some very special memories for her.
Many years later, the dream I had as a child grew to include horses when John and I moved back to the farm in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And then finally in 2012, all the pieces came together as we felt directed to help children who are hurting and specifically partner with adopted families.
We don't have a pool to swim in.
So John and Becky prayed long and hard to create our mission statement, connecting children and families with horses and farm life to bring refreshment, renewal, and rest. We get to see this coming to life on the farm as we mentor the children who come for an hour-and-a-half one-on-one sessions, once a week for 10 weeks during the spring, summer, and fall.
Ella is a darling little girl who was adopted by a caring family. She is rarely without a smile and a giggle. She is bouncy and energetic and loves every single animal at this farm, big or small. But behind her smiles and her giggles is a little girl who was struggling with some big fears and some trust issues.
So here at Green Meadow, we meet children right where they're at. We creatively share the love of Jesus in our lessons, and we focus on specific areas where parents have communicated to us that their child is struggling. It is a beautiful thing to watch needs being met with the help of horses, farm life, and laughter, which you can hear often during our lessons.
During our time together, Ella and I really focused on bravery in the face of challenges and building her faith in God and her trust in her parents. We didn't know about the medical challenges that Ella would be facing, but God did, and He was preparing her heart. We spent a lot of time doing different obstacles and riding horses bareback, which really challenged Ella's strength and her courage. And even though she was nervous, she conquered those fears one by one.
As instructors, we all pause to pray before our lessons because prayer is the key for what goes on in the lesson. My prayer is, as always, Lord, go before us, help me to get out of the way so that you can do your work. And He always comes through.
We have the opportunity for volunteers to come in groups for things like baling hay and seasonal cleanup days. But we are so blessed to have our weekly volunteers who come morning or night to feed, muck, and care for the horses and animals. Our volunteer coordinator does an amazing job of team placement and orienting those who come, from past lesson students to retired folks. Our staff are often found working alongside of them, providing continued mentorship and sharing in the joy of God's creation here on the farm.
The horses are here to help us work on relationships. Like people, they are designed for connection, they're designed to be in relationship, that's how God made them. And so when we have students come on the farm, that's what we're working on.
Before each riding lesson, Ella and I would pray and read Bible verses about faith. specifically 2 Corinthians 5:7, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." She began to understand that there is a Father in heaven that is walking with her, guiding her, and truly loves her more than she could ever imagine. I could see her ability to trust her parents and her horse friend Aspen really start to grow. Ella and Aspen really connected, and I believe that is because Aspen is a lot like her. Fun and spirited with a little hint of mischief and always up for a good snuggle. But Aspen is afraid of being alone and he fears being left out of things. He was a really good partner for her.
We are working on connection and healthy relationships. We want the students to be connected to themselves, connected to their horse, and connected to God. For some kids, that means being able to sit on their horse and just be quiet and calm and relaxed. For some kids, that means learning how to be a little more assertive and really bring their voice and ask for things that they want. But ultimately what we want is for those skills that they learn here to translate to their relationships at home and to their relationship with God.
We use the whole farm, not just the animals, to connect with our families and students. Students and instructors pick out farm chores and together work as a team to complete them. The Grow Up Garden is our interactive garden where they can watch God's magic unfold as they plant and tend the vegetables, fruits, and flowers. The best part is being able to share it with their families and to offer the animals a special treat.
Our heart is to bless parents that come with their lesson students by offering them a place to unplug and be still, and sometimes spend one-on-one time with another one of their children that they rarely get to spend time with. Many parents are going through really rough times, and as we have opportunity, we love to be able to sit down and really listen to what they're going through, and then together with them lift up their burdens before the Father in prayer.
When Becky opened the door to the storm shelter and said, "This is for you," I just stood there and tears filled my eyes. There's not many people who get it, who really understand what foster and adoptive parents go through and the support that we need. But when I looked around and saw all the thought that they had put into this place, I knew they did.
From our beginning, we have offered lessons free of charge, and God has provided every nickel and dollar needed to keep this place ticking. Provision also comes in the form of supplies and materials, feed, and many hours of labor. It takes a lot to steward this property well, and when I see smiles beaming from our students' faces and know that our mission is being fulfilled, it makes it all worthwhile.
The day Ella and her mom returned to the farm for a visit was just so precious. She could not have been more excited to greet all of her animal friends and to buy a t-shirt, and she was thrilled to see Aspen again. When she left, she promised that she would come back and visit often, and she could not wait until she was old enough to volunteer, which is several years away, but I don't doubt that she will. She is one brave and determined young lady.
As families leave the farm, it's our prayer that they would have come to know and to hear the voice of Jesus, the Good Shepherd, and in so doing, that they will have found refreshment, renewal, and especially rest for their souls.